Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Pokemon versus the stock market. We're trying to beat the S&P 500 over a 10 to 15 year cycle. This is the second episode. The first one, I literally set up what my plan was and what I was going to do, and I left it that I needed to populate the Collectr app, which I'm 80% done. So as you can see, I'm knocking around 9.4k. I think I'll probably max out by the time I've finished at between 10 and a half. And then what we'll do when I've finished everything is we'll put that into the S&P 500. Not the real one. This is just a test S&P 500. You know, when you go on to plus 500 and it gives you real money stock, and then it gives you a test one. So I'm just going to put it on the test one, and I'm going to keep saving it. And then I'm going to check it every week against each other to see which one's performing well. Is Pokemon performing better? Well, TCGs in general. Or is the S&P 500 performing better? So as you can see on the right hand side here, we have got, let's start down with the sealed stuff, because the sealed I'm looking at as like blue chip companies in the S&P 500. You know, your Microsoft, your Johnson and Johnsons, your Microsoft, Johnson Johnson, Google, Intel. Who's the one who makes the chips? Fucking hell, what's that company called that makes all the bloody graphics cards? I've brought them for years. Nvidia, things like that. So they're going to be pipped against blue chip stocks. The graded cards, I've got 34 of. They're going to be your mid-range companies, and the just the raw cards are going to be like speculative things. Like I said, some random penny stock, like companies mining in other countries, which are, you know, under £5, and anything anything under $5 is classed as a penny stock. But this is £5, so I'm not really sure. If you know, answers in the comments. So as I was going through all of my cards, it took me about 16 hours in total, I'd say. And whilst I was putting all these into the app, I did come across some surprising prices and some really good cards, which I thought were really good. Were about 30 quid SIR. They were about 4 quid. So I've saved them for you, and I want to show you. So this one, the Great Tusk. This is an SIR. You can see the two gold stars down there, which means it's a special illustration rare. This thing was up at £9.10, and it's down at £5. You know, I'm not sure if it's the most playable card in the world. That may be why it's so cheap. But just look at the colors, and look at the colors in the background, and he's running through the desert, and it's smoky, and I think it's a really cool card. And it's like 5 quid, £5.70. You might be able to put some offers onto eBay and get this for what, £4.80, £5. You know, if you got 5 or 6 of these, leave them 10 years. I think this, like I was saying on my last video, that Pokemon's popped off and there's not much left, but you can still find some gems, and I think this is a gem. So I'm going to pick a couple of these up along the way. Then secondly, another good price card I saw was the Pheasantipity. This thing, £4.15. I think it's a really nice art. It's really deep red. Pheasantipity was quite a playable card in the EX version. I think the Pheasantipity EX was going like £10-12, maybe even more. It's quite rare when you get an EX bigger than the full art. I'm not sure if this is as playable as the previous card, but for four, you know, this is £4.15. You could put some offers on eBay and maybe get it for £3.20, £3.50. You know, get 5 or 6 of these, chuck them in a binder, leave them. Then another one, which I thought was quite cool, was this Chatot. This is only 4 quid. Again, if you're lucky, you can get this for £3.20, £3.50. The interesting thing about this card is, I don't know if you can see, but that is a music symbol. That's a semi-clef there. And these are music bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every good boy deserves football, and the ones in the middle are face, F-A-C-E. So if you know how to read music, that's that's the basics. That's episode 1 of reading music. And you can see these are sat on the lines here. So he sat on the what's that, the E? Yeah, E sat on the E, and then it goes up to the C, and it's actually, when you play it out on the keyboard, it's a song or the intro when they start fighting in the actual in the animation. So I thought that was really good secret piece of information. If you can play the keyboard and read this, I mean, this one down here, what line is this on? A F. Yeah, so it's like Pokemon music written in the card, and there's birds on it. It's Chaton, not Chaton, Chatot. Okay, and so they the cheaper ones which I found, which I might be picking up a few more of. Chuck them in a binder. Probably, hopefully, get about 10 of each over the next few weeks, and throw them in a binder. So that's the cheap stuff. Now I found some interesting price cards, which I thought were like £2, £3, £5 at most, and I was quite shocked at the prices of them. So this Typhlosion, I forget what set this is even from. I brought this for about £16 about 4 years ago, and now it's £68. So that was a really good buy on my part there. 68 quid. What set is this from? Does it say? It must say somewhere. Oh, Sandstorm, EX. Really shiny border, as you can see. Is it an E series? Yeah, there's a little E down there, so it's the E series. You know, when you could scan them in on your Pokédex and stuff. 68 quid. I was shocked. Another one, Meganium. This one is from Unseen Forces. Really nice, and it was 80 quid. I was like, this one I must have had for about 8 years, and it's just been sat in a box. I don't even think it was in a sleeve, so I didn't check the condition when I put it in, because I just put them all in, and then I went through the app later, and I was like, oh my god, that's 80 quid. This one I probably picked up for £5. So I was shocked at that one. And this one, the Cernius EX, this is from X and Y base set. This is going for 60 quid. This again I've had for getting close to 10 years. Like I was saying, with this thing I'm doing, it's 10 years. So this is like 10 years old, say. X and Y base, is that 10 years? I can't remember. This wouldn't be far off 10 years. And it's 60 quid. You know, I don't know how much this was when it first came out, but I didn't pay 60 quid for it. I wouldn't pay 60 quid for it. If I saw this in the card shop and thought, oh, that looks nice, and I would have paid probably about a tenner for it. And I've 6x'd in 10 years. Not bad. Another big one I've got in my Pikachu binder. I'll show you. In the Pikachu binder, because he was like halfway through, but now I've found out he's like 40 quid. He's in, where's my thing? He's in slot number 1 now, because he's 40 quid. Slot number 1. So that's my Pikachu binder. Everything's just Pikachu, and so on. Oh, put on them. What sign? I don't know what sign I go. Yeah, so I picked up multiple cards because, you know, I have an issue. Excuse me, farted. Right, moving on to other surprise cards I didn't know the price of. Articuno. Now, this is from Fossil. Yes, it's an old one, so it's bound to be quite up there. It's a hollow. And I was like, 40 quid? No, actually, I haven't got this. It isn't first. This is first edition. Yeah, this is first edition. Forget that. I haven't. So the first edition is 100 quid. Okay, that makes more sense. Mine's 38 quid. I did wonder why the hell's that gone from? It must have been about £12, and now it's 38. So it's done all right. I mean, but the first editions, but then that would have been 40 odd quid. Okay, forget that one. Forget I was even there. Nidoran, why have I got that up? Oh, legendary collection. So this card looks a lot better than it actually looks on this screen. Hang on, I'll show you. There you go. There's Nidoran. She's from legendary collection. You can see this thing is crazy hollow foil on it. So it's that card, but it looks it doesn't look that good on the screen. In fact, I can't even see any hollow foil on the screen. So yeah, I was shocked that that was 24 quid. I'll tell you. Then our last one, if you're into Lorcana, look at this. It's just a rare. That triangle means rare, which were, these were 10 a penny. And they're going in the cold foil, which I've got one of each actually. I should put that in. And I've got it in the binder too. So because I've got the master set. This, I believe, is Archie's Island. It must be really playable. I don't play the game because I don't really understand all this bloody going off and singing and getting lore and bringing it back rather than having to fight like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Magic, like Pokemon. This is going off singing and we did try it, but I was like, oh, this is shit. So there. So the app I'm using for this is called Collectr. Now it is free and it keeps track of your portfolio, and you only have to pay if you want to take pictures of cards rather than typing in the name of the card. But you do get 30 free pictures per day. But if you pay, I think it's about £5 a month, you can get unlimited, and you can change the color of the screen and things like that. So if you're into it that much and you don't mind paying £5, then you can get some extra bits. But I did actually pay the £5 because I'm stupid. No, I'm not. It is really good because I must have taken a picture of about 500 cards yesterday with this app, and it was a hell of a lot quicker than typing it in. So I do recommend it if you've got lots and lots of cards. So, how do you put the cards in? I hear you ask. Did nobody ask? So here I've got a pile of. I've just pulled out a pile of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Not really a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I don't know how I ended up with some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think I just brought them out to HMV. But anyway, you get on the app, you get a card, you put it in the square. Doesn't matter if your finger's holding it. Press the photo button, and it'll go bing, bing. There we go. Ash Blossom, £22 something. So you can even do it in the sleeve if you're lucky. I think I've only had 2 or 3 cards which haven't come through on the sleeve. Spellbook Magician, and the name of this card is Spellbook Magician. Yeah, so all you do is keep on going. What's this? The Door of Destiny. Okay, he's in. He's 13 pence. Not going to make much money off that. But after you've done that, you press tick. Are you happy with all these? I think it holds about 50 or 100 cards before you have to submit them into your portfolio. So there, it's gone into my portfolio. Then you go across to your portfolio. And there is my Collectr app. I've changed my name to Cornwall Card House on the Collectr app, and I put this nice screen on the background, and I put a Pikachu up the corner. But for some reason, it hasn't changed it on the Collectr app. I'm still Neo Nexus. So I don't know if I have to sign out and back in, but I'm too scared of signing out because I've done all this work and I might frigging lose it. And you'll also be pleased to know that I have ordered my first item. Now, this is a sealed product. I spent a lot of time researching and I brought a box of flesh and blood. Now, don't scream at once. This thing's had a few issues. I think there's some people coming and going from the company. Some people aren't happy with the artwork with the latest box, but I think this box I brought, the artwork is really solid and there's some really good cards in it. So I went for High Seas. Now, normally, High Seas has been knocking around 109, 120, 120. I think £225 was the last one I saw. But this information's come out. This is a bit of a risk play, but for the price I got this for, I think it mitigates that risk. So I got, look at this, £73. I got this Flesh and Blood High Seas booster box. This guy listed it for, I think it was 90 something, 98. So they were 120. They crashed a bit, 10%, 20% off the market, and he'd put this on for 96. Now I went in cheeky because he had offers on, so I went in cheeky and I offered him, I think, 65, and he said no, and he came back at 73. Well, it's 70. I think I paid 71. I think there's some fees on top of that, or 72. And he came back at 72, and I was like, dude, that's like 30% less than the going rate. I was like, I'm in. So our first box is Flesh and Blood. I haven't added it to the Collectr app yet, just because it's not here in case anything goes wrong. So that's about it from Cornwall Card House. I'll keep adding all these cards I've got into the Collectr app, and then by the time Flesh and Blood's here, we should be over £10,000 with a bit of luck. As slogan goes, I didn't come up with a slogan. A very good friend of mine came up. Well, my best friend, his name's Starchy. He came up with a very good slogan, and it is "You slint." No, not you slint. Something about capybaras or something. Anyway, I'll see you in episode 3.